Hey everyone, what's up? It's Amanda. Happy Thursday. I hope everyone is going to have a wonderful day today. For today's video, I thought it would be so cool to do something a little different. I don't know if this has been done before. I haven't looked it up or anything, but I thought it would be cool to do a Throwback Thursday with makeup. So by Throwback Thursday, I'm going to attempt to do a full face of makeup. I know I probably won't have everything, but from makeup that came out a year or so ago. So if you want to go ahead and see what makeup I'm going to use today and what look I create, then just keep on watching. Alright guys, so I went ahead and prepped my skin because I don't have anything that would be considered a throwback to use as a primer. But I am going to go ahead and jump into foundation. And the foundation that I have that's a throwback is the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Full Coverage Foundation. This is in the shade F7, so I hope that it will work for me today because I've had it for a while. It released in September of 2018, so next month will make 2 years since this launched. And a lot of people really loved it. It always reminded me of the Shape Tape foundation because it is a doe foot applicator. So let's go ahead and apply. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and apply it directly to the face. And I am going to put quite a bit on because I do want full coverage. When this came out and the first time I got it, I actually really did like this foundation. So I'm hoping that I will still like it the same way I did. It's crazy to think that it's already been 2 years since this came out. I was working at Ulta when this released. All right, now that we have our foundation on, I'm just gonna take my wet sponge and start patting it out. All right, so I am gonna add just a little bit more so I can add some coverage extra in certain areas. This foundation also does retail for $12 and is still sold at Ulta as well. All right, so this is what it looks like with the foundation on. Definitely buildable coverage, definitely full coverage, and it's looking really good on my skin. And it feels lightweight as well. It doesn't feel heavy either. I wonder why I stopped using this foundation. Since we threw it back with the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Foundation, why not throw it back with the concealer as well? So we're going to use the Conceal and Define Concealer, and this is in the shade C3. And this does retail for $7. And I believe this either launched with the foundation or really shortly after, like very shortly after. And a lot of people said this foundation was comparable to the the Tarte Shape Tape until the e.l.f. one came along, and then the e.l.f. one became the dupe for the Tarte Shape Tape. This is also full coverage as well. All right, so since I do not have a throwback powder, I'm gonna go ahead and set my face and I'll be right back. All right, so now that everything is set, we are jumping into the rest of the face, and the palette we're gonna be using is the Too Faced Natural Face Palette. This released in March or April of 2018, so it's literally been 2.5 years since this released. And this got a lot of love because I think this, honestly, was probably one of the first higher end products that I owned, and I was very obsessed with it. I think I was working at Ulta. Yeah, I think I had just started at Ulta when this came out, and I purchased this, and it smells amazing. This palette has so many memories. When I look at this palette, I think of when I went on my cruise, I think was also 2018, and I created such beautiful looks on the cruise ship with this. This is such an iconic palette. I love it so much. So we are going to use it to do our full face. So first I'm just going to jump into the bronzer, and I'm going to use Sunny Honey, which is this one up here that has gotten lots and lots of love. All right, then next for the blush, we're going to take Pink Sand, which is this one down here. And then lastly for a highlighter, we're going to go in with Starlight and Satin Sheets. We're going to mix them together. These highlighters are very beautiful. They're not too blinding. They're very natural to create this natural face. I don't know why I haven't used this in such a long time. I love this palette. I love the look that it gives. It is so gorgeous. It's still sold on Ulta and Sephora's website for $44 if you haven't tried this and want to check it out. Moving on though, I don't have any new brow or I should say old brow or primer to try for my eyes. So I'm just going to pop those on and we'll jump right into the palette. All right, guys, so now that that is all done, we are jumping into the palette. And the Throwback palette we are using today is the Morphe X Jaclyn Hill Volume 1 palette. Look how old this palette looks, and dirty and used up. This palette holds such a special place in my heart. This was probably the first big palette I ever really owned. I got it for Christmas one year and I was so excited because I've always loved makeup, but growing up I never had to do like foundation and crazy things because I honestly had really good skin when I was a teenager. I never had acne. I maybe got one pimple around the time of like homecoming or prom, and that was it. I always had really good skin. But I always loved doing my eyes, and at least eyeliner. Eyeliner was the big thing back then. But as far as like makeup goes, I always had like drugstore makeup or like the Ulta kits that I got for Christmas and things like that. So this was like the first like palette that I had, and inside it has gotten a lot of love. This is actually the only palette or only even eyeshadow that I have where I've hit pan on it, and I've hit pan on that shade. I always use that shade to set before I did anything. And so I am so excited to jump into this. Look how like all gross, not gross, but just, you know, a mess it is, because I loved the crap out of this palette. And this palette released 3 years ago on June 21st. So June 21st, 2017 was when this palette released. So it has been around for over 3 years. And this palette does still retail for $39, and it is still sold at Ulta as well. So you can still pick up this palette. I know that they've changed like the packagings and stuff several times over the years, but let's go ahead and create an eyeshadow look. So just because, I'm going to go ahead and set my whole eye with this shade since we've already hit pan on it. So why not throw it back by doing what I used to do, and we're just going to set that eye in place with the primer I used. And now I think today I'm just going to create a nice brown bronzy look, and I'm going to go into my crease with this shade right here. I don't have any of the shade names. That paper is long gone. Since this palette doesn't have a mirror, I had to use another palette for a mirror. Then I'm going to go ahead and deepen up the crease with this shade right here. And last, for the matte shades, I'm going to take this shade down here, and that's going to go on the outer corner. All right, so now we're gonna go in with the shimmers, and I'm gonna put this shimmer all over my lid. And then I'm gonna take this shade here for the inner corner. I love this palette so much. I love that you can get such a natural look with it, or there's pops of color that you can play with here as well. But overall, this is such a good old palette. Very nice. Morphe's formula is really, really good. Blends out really, really beautifully. Now, you can't really see the metallics as well. They're very soft metallics. They're not, like, I can see it in person that it's a metallic shade, but on camera, it's not really picking up all that well. I do not have any like new or old mascara, eyeliner, things like that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pop on the rest of my face and we'll be right back. All right, so this is the final eye makeup. So now jumping into lipstick, we are going to be jumping into the Maybelline Superstay Matte Ink. This came out in about 2017. This is in the shade Fighter. It is super beautiful. I do not have a lip liner that is older, I guess you could say. So I'm gonna go ahead and line my lips and pop on some liquid lipstick. All right, so this is the liquid lipstick in the shade Fighter, and I used a NYX lip liner in the shade Lima with it as well. I am getting such fall vibes from this look. It is absolutely beautiful. But again, this did come out 3 years ago and it does retail for $9.49. I believe they do still sell it at Ulta and probably in the drugstores as well. So that is the liquid lipstick. Now it is time to set my face. So let me go see if I have a setting spray that is a throwback. All right, guys, so we do have to set the face, of course. We're going to use the Too Faced Hangover 3-in-1 spray, which is infused with peach extract. This does retail for $32, and it's still sold on the Too Faced website, at least from what I could see. And this came out 2 years ago, and it says it's a replenishing primer and setting spray. I guess I could have used this as primer today. Oops. And it's made with coconut water, probiotic-based ingredients, and skin revivers. So let's go ahead and set this makeup. It smells so good. I love this spray so much. All right, guys, and this is the final look from me creating my look using all products that are throwbacks. So any products that were over a year or so old, which everything I used ended up being 2 years to 3 years old from when it came out, at least. Not the actual product that I own, but just when it came out. So I absolutely love this. I feel very fall vibes from it, and I think it is absolutely beautiful. But if you like this type of video, go give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe as well if you are new here. I would love to have you guys a part of the fam. Don't forget, once I hit 100 subscribers, there will be a giveaway, so you want to be a part of that. I really enjoyed this type of video, so maybe I'll do this more often on Thursdays, Throwback Thursday videos. I don't know how often, but it's definitely something fun, so I will definitely keep this in mind, especially if you guys liked it as well. But anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful Thursday, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.